A great friend of the program, a man who constantly is part of our world by calling in after football Sundays, and he's one of my favorite people I know in the business. Susie loves this man. We all love this man. He is Steve Mariucci, my compadre from the NFL Network, for whom this is like a nice summer day because he's the Iron Mountain, Michigan man.
You'd plan a picnic on a day like this. Did you say Guy Fieri's coming over here?
Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
Listen to how you said that, right?
Hey,
yeah.
Well, I don't speak Italian like Susie does.
Right, yes, she's quite fluent.
So we just played bocce ball together. He's awful.
Does he come to you?
When he comes in here, you might be good with the food, but you are awful bocce ball player.
I thought you were going to say he's awesome, but he comes to your the Mooch Madden.
He didn't come
event?
to that. He came. Jack Del Rio had one. Kind of imitated our tournament because Jack plays in mine too. So Guy was on my team.
Yeah.
God, we were bad. Yeah.
We were bad. Are you saying we
no,
because you're a team?
Was bad. Okay. He's a lot of fun.
Oh, man. Now, speaking of a lot of fun, before we get to this game, part of the NFL Network, 8.5 hours of coverage that will all be there. We'll do that standing on our heads.
We got to do 8.5 hours?
Yes, we do, sir.
It's a lot of coffee, Rich.
I know that. There's a meet. We had our meeting the other day on Thursday, all of us together.
Okay.
And part of our show is you and Michael Irvin going ice fishing together. Did that happen this week, Steve Mariucci? This happened this week?
Okay, so I'm going to just give you the secrets, all right?
Please.
So you don't have to wait until game day to see this feature, all right? Here's what we did.
Okay.
So first thing we did, well, Michael did opening night.
Yes.
But first thing I did, Tuesday morning we went ice fishing on Lake Minnetonka, okay?
Okay.
That's where the Vikings had their cruise.
We've heard about that.
Okay. Anyway,
did you ever see Purple Rain? Did you ever see that movie, Steve?
Yeah.
Do you remember that's where Apollonia she had to go cleanse herself, or at least Prince told her she had to.
Okay, great. So so Michael was walking on the ice, right? I show up, you saw Grumpy Old Men, right?
I see.
So I have the black and the red hunting stuff with the stupid hat on and all that stuff, right? Yeah. So Michael shows up with his fur, his mink coat that he used to wear.
No way.
Sandy, his wife said, "You're not wearing that." I think it's been in the closet for 26 years, but he got permission to use it. All right. He shows up with the mink and tennis shoes. Now we're gonna go ice fishing on Lake Minnetonka. Anyway, so.
He showed up in a mink coat.
One scene, we're outside and didn't catch anything. We're going inside. They have these ice houses, these ice shacks. They are now like the Taj Mahal, all right, with beds and refrigerators and TVs and everything. So anyway, they have holes drilled in there. So you just sit there and fish and camp out for like a week, okay?
Yes.
So we had a contest. Who's going to catch the most fish, right? I caught the first one, a little thing like this. Anyway, so boom, we both caught a fish at the same time. Now, let me preface that by saying I called Al Riveron, head of officiating, in the morning. I had a question for him. I'm always doing research, all right? And so I was hoping he'd call me back at some point, right? So as Michael and I caught the fish started doing something, all right? And it got tangled up. And we're both trying to reel. Michael reels both of the fish up his hole. He almost pulled me through my hole, all right?
Yeah.
He's reeling them. I got 2 fish. That's a catch. I get 2 for this one.
It's a catch?
It's a catch. I caught 2.
Is it not a catch?
As soon as we're arguing about this, who calls? Al Riveron calls. And it's ring. I pull it up. And Al starts going, "Hey, Mooch, I got your back." I go, "Forget about that. I got to have a ruling right now." So I put him on a speaker. "Hey, Al, Michael pulled my fish up his hole. He's got 2. I need a ruling. Is it a catch or not a catch? I think it's mine because it's on my hook." He goes, "Mooch, let me make a ruling on this. If it went up Michael's hole, he gets the catch." Talk about, we're going to have to change the rule on the catch. Roger Goodell said that. And we're going to have to get clarification on a fish catch, too, because it's still under protest. I challenged it, and Al Riveron called exactly at that time.
Oh, my God. That is
unbelievable.
Is the Riveron call going to make the piece?
I think so. I think so.
How does it not?
All the cameras are rolling, man.
that.
You can't make that up. It was awesome.
Oh, my gosh.
So the catch survived the hole, I guess, is the way you have to put
You
it.
don't get 2 catches in one hole. You gotta have. It was on my hook, Rich.
Yeah.
My hook.
So, well, how would, if this was like, if you will, the playground of the Northern Michigan, what would the ruling be in Northern Michigan?
I would have got probably both of them.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's not you're the away team, Steve. You need your home ice advantage is really what you
Michael
need.
was out of his element, I would say. You know, we drove on the ice because I actually learned how to drive. My dad taught me how to drive on a lake, on the ice.
Ray Mariucci.
Ray Mariucci, and with a stick shift. You know, there's no cross traffic out there, right? So you learn how to turn in the direction of the skid, you know.
Oh, my God. Wow. Mooch here on the Rich Eisen Show. Oh, man. What do you think's going to happen Sunday? I don't want to give away too many of the secrets. We have 8.5 hours to fill for crying out loud. What do you think's going to happen Sunday?
The last thing that we do is what? Before on 8.5 hours, the last thing we do is
pick the game, yeah.
Pick the game. You know how I have cards for every one of our chats?
I do know that.
I have not circled one of those teams yet. I can't decide. I can't decide who's going to win this game.
Would you normally have something circled on your card by now?
Yeah, I am. And even though you would circle the Patriots most of the time because they're so good, all of the 5 Super Bowls that they've won, Rich, your guy from Michigan has had a fourth quarter game-winning drive to win all 5. They're that close. And so... And if anybody can beat the Patriots as good as the Patriots are, this Eagle defense is going to give them some fits.
So that's what's giving you pause?
Yeah, and I just don't know how many fits they're going to give them. But they're going to make it a rough day for Tom. They're going to pressure the heck out of him.
And they don't have to scheme their way. That's the thing that we keep talking about all week.
The thing about they've got so many good defensive linemen that they like to just rush 4 most of the time.
Yes.
And they keep them fresh. And they're going to hit. They have hit quarterbacks more than any team in the league by far. And so the last time Brady lost was when he got hit 20 times by Denver last year in the AFC game. So it's going to be, can Tom Brady make enough plays under pressure all day long?
Steve Mariucci here on the Rich Eisen Show. What is Doug Peterson and Frank Reich doing with Nick Foles over the final 48 hours?
And John DeFilippo, the quarterback coach, he's done such a good job with Carson Wentz.
Is he going somewhere? Has he ever gig
He
somewhere?
interviewed several times.
Okay.
But I don't know unless Indy and Detroit end up changing gears or something. But he's going to be a coach.
So what are those guys all do? What is I guess the Foles handlers? What do you think they're going to do in the final 48 hours with him, Steve?
Well, the Hayes. I don't like saying the Hayes in the barn, but as far as the game plan, it's pretty much set and practiced already.
Yes.
And they have tweaked their offense as such that the Nick Foles it's keeping it pretty simple.
Yep.
A lot of one-back set and shotgun, a lot of RPOs, which is kind of you watch, it's going to start a little new trend. You know, it's monkey see, monkey do in this league, you know?
Yep.
There's to be more RPOs where you read and run and pass, and then throwing those little high percentage slants. A lot of those, but and they're gonna add with personnel groups and formations to make it a little bit complicated. So the Patriots haven't practiced against it, right? Take shots on occasion, which they didn't do at first with Nick Foles. They were very careful with him. Last game they got some big plays to win that thing, which they needed, and they're gonna need that again. So it's like, all right, Nick, we're gonna call the game for you that you can execute. You know, don't take any chances that you don't need to. Check it down when you have to. If we have to punt, that's fine. They're not going to ask him to carry this team on his shoulders completely. Although the quarterback nowadays has got to make all the plays, you know that, boy.
So when are you going to circle that thing? And the 5 minutes before you make the pick?
Yeah. I'm gonna
when I see you on Sunday and I look at your stack of cards,
an uncircled card, because I listen to all the discussion in Analyst, and I go, "That's a good point. That's a good point. I'm leaning this way. Well, maybe I'm leaning that way now.
Right?
It's that close in my mind.
What do you think Andy Reid is thinking right now? He finally pulled that trigger. What does he see? I'm sure you've talked to him. What does he see in Mahomes, man, that he thinks it's ready to go?
First, he really, really likes Alex Smith.
Everybody does.
Personally,
sure.
Professionally, to lead his team, the whole thing. And he got in a situation where they couldn't afford to keep him. I mean, you're talking about, all right, let's make a decision. We've got this guy that makes $20 million,
Why are you pointing to me
and
for
this
that?
guy
I don't know what you- I don't know why you would
500,000.
point to me.
Something you want to tell us?
500,000 and 20 million, okay?
Sure.
And they are salary cap strapped. They're like way on the bottom 30th or some darn thing with money, okay?
Yes.
It's an easy decision. Hey, we can get another draft choice here, start the young guy, and let him play. Hopefully, he's like a Russell Wilson that played on his first contract and played very well.
Yes.
And I think when you see a Deshaun Watson and these young kids playing so well, Jared Goff, you know, it's like, hey, maybe this guy he can play well too, and the price is right. So I know Andy Reid will always stay in touch with Alex Smith forever and wish him the best. And I think Alex Smith will be fine over there.
So let's say
Washington.
Let's say you're a coach of a team that needs a quarterback, and you think that you've got a ready-made team or a team that's young and up and coming, and you need to attach yourself to somebody like Kirk Cousins. Would you pound the table? How about this one? Hold on. If you were, let's take it back to the day when you were pounding the table for Jeff Garcia, right? You were pounding the table back in Detroit for somebody other than the guy that you had. Would you pound the table for Kirk Cousins at the price? At the price that he's going to cost?
That's the problem. Jeff Garcia didn't cost $30 million a year. So who might pound the table? Will it be Cleveland?
Would you pound the table at that price for this guy?
It would depend on what my team structure is.
If it's the Jets.
If it's the Jets, I may not. I might stick with McCown. They like him.
For 1 year and then draft somebody? Okay. You're Denver.
It's cheaper that way. I can build up other areas. Denver might consider it. Denver might consider it because they have the defense.
Yes.
They have the run game. They have so many pieces in place, and they played musical chairs with 3 quarterbacks. It's like John Madden said, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. Well, they have 3 quarterbacks. You don't have one. You don't have that guy. So maybe, you know, like going and getting Peyton Manning and for a few years to see if they can get another ring might make sense. Does Cleveland make a run at them? They can't decide who their quarterback is, and they have 1 and 4 in the draft.
They gotta take one of the kids. That's it. Number 1 overall.
I know, but then Hugh Jackson's going, okay, we're going to take a rookie and start a rookie, and I'm going to win a couple games this year. I mean, can I survive the month of September? You know what I mean? Maybe management and ownership would say, hey, let's build this team for the future. But I know a coaching staff says we got to get somebody that can play pretty darn quickly, like maybe a Kirk Cousins.
Steve Mariucci here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before I let you go, what was the ruling you were calling Al River on about to begin with? What were you curious about?
I wanted to talk to him about, you know, the Surface Pros. You know, what is that over there? We have the Surface Pros on our desk, right, on our set.
Yeah.
And I lean my cards up against it.
Yeah.
And they use those on the sideline.
Yeah, I know. We know the replay guy very intimately.
Yeah.
We have right. We have a video about the replay guy out on our Twitter handle.
I don't want to say controversy, but back when I coach, and it's not in the Renaissance period, but there were Polaroids, Rich.
Right.
Polaroids, black and white Polaroids that, you know, and you get a snapshot of the just before the play, so you can see the formation and how everybody lines up, and just after to see if they start blitzing or whatever.
Yep.
And you flip it from each play, sideline and end zone. Well, now it's digitized, okay? So they can see that on the Surface Pro on the sidelines, but it's only the photograph. The same Surface Pro goes out to the referee now for instant replay with video, okay? Well, the old folk coaches like me don't want video on the sidelines yet.
Why?
I don't know. It's just like tradition. It's like, hey, we're going to do like Polaroids. Look at the picture. And then we don't want to have meetings on the field where you're going, you're all watching video. You like in the classroom, okay?
Right.
Or at halftime. But they do have the technology, right? Because they have it for the replay. They run that guy out so he doesn't have to run all the way on the end of the field and look into that booth, right?
Yeah.
They come out to him and they replay it on video. So they have the technology. So that I just wanted to make sure. You know, I said, what is that guy watching? What video exactly is he watching? And Al said he's watching what the people at home are watching, all of the replays that you guys give us, the broadcast, right? Yeah. So I just wanted to clarify all that with him.
Steve, you just need to watch more television. I think, quite honestly, you need to get less. You need to get more well-rounded, Steve. I got to be honest with you.
You want video on the sidelines?
That's what you're sitting around doing. Our poll question is brought to you by Man vs. Food. Steve is the man.
Where's the food?
And you love food. Only on Travel Channel, Mondays at 9 Eastern. Introduce and ask him the poll question before we take our first break. And then Eli Manning will join us shortly.
Mooch, very simple today. Who wins Super Bowl 52?
Oh, come on, man. Weren't you just listening? I don't know yet.
You know who's going to win. Just say Tom Brady and the Patriots and be done with it.
Oh. Okay, so I'll lean that way right now, but I can't.
You're not going to. You will not commit to circling here on this Rich Eisen show Friday. You will not.
Not.
Okay.
No, not.
Who's your X Factor?
Gronk.
Stop it. That's the worst X Factor guy ever.
Here's the next poll question. What is an X Factor? Why can't it be Gronk? Why can't it be?
Because he's not a
best-
variable. He's not a variable.
He's the best
never a
player
variable.
in his position in the NFL.
It's not a variable.
We actually, because he gripes about this every show.
Yes.
So we actually put up the definition of an X Factor from the dictionary, and Gronk qualifies for it.
To bottle you in. No, he does not. He's not a variable. He's a given, man. He's a given.
Hey, he's in the protocol. Well, he's out now.
No, he's out now. Eli Manning, Drew Brees, and Kevin Hart, and Guy Fieri, and Al Michaels, and a lot of fun with Steve Mariucci.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.